Hi, my name is Lilika, and today we're going to be speaking about the conventions of autobiographies, biographies, travel writing, narrative writing, and descriptive writing. In this video, just like all of the other videos in the series I'm making on AS Level English, I'll just be speaking about the specific conventions of each of these types of texts, so that if you have to analyze one or maybe write one of these texts, you at least have a feel for them and you kind of know where to start. But today we've got a lot to get through, so let's jump right into it. First up, we're going to be talking about biographies. Biographies, just like autobiographies, are written about a person. It's like their life story, except in a biography it is written by a different individual. Because of that, the biography will generally be biased. The story that that person is telling is through the lens of someone who didn't actually live the life of whoever the biography is about. So there will always be a bias involved. Biographies will show off the author's knowledge. They can be authorized or unauthorized. So someone can maybe pay someone to write a biography about themselves, but if that person is already deceased, then of course they can't give the go-ahead, so then that biography will be unauthorized. It isn't necessarily the case that an authorized biography is good and an unauthorized one is bad. It just gives context for whatever the writer is writing about in that biography. Biographies will generally start with a formal introduction. The length of the biography will depend on the audience. Some biographies are just a few chapters long and others are hundreds of pages long. So again, it does just depend on the audience and the author and what they think the people who might be interested in the person that they're writing about, what they would prefer when it comes to the length of the book. Biographies will of course be written in third person, since it's not written by the person who the biography is about. The stories that they tell and the information that they give will be based on facts and anecdotes, and biographies aim to educate the reader on the individual. Alright, next let's talk about autobiographies. Again, an autobiography, just like a biography, is the life story of an individual, except in the case of an autobiography, it is written by the individual who the book is about. So to clarify, if I write a book about myself, that's an autobiography. If someone else writes a book about me, that's a biography. Autobiographies may or may not start off with a formal introduction, depending on the tone that the author is going for. So a comedian might write an autobiography, but aim more to entertain than to educate. So in that case, they might be more conversational and comical. Autobiographies will be written in first person, since they're speaking from first-hand experience. They'll be very anecdotal because they're just, recounting their life experiences and things that happened that made them who they are today. In an autobiography, the author will reveal their feelings, reactions, values, and goals. Okay, next up we're going to be talking about travel writing. So travel writing is anecdotal writing. Travel writing aims to inform or expose people to travel destinations they may have otherwise not heard about, or to excite readers with the purpose of getting them traveling as well. The tone of a travel blog will be more chatty and personal. It'll be descriptive and contain sensory details. Again, it's going to be very anecdotal, so the writer wants the reader to live themselves into the story that the author is telling. They will include details of the author's unique perspective. They may include helpful travel tips that the author picked up on their travels that would be of use to someone who may also go to that destination, and they'll always aim to be relatable. Next up, narrative writing. So there are two types of narrative writings. There are fiction and non-fiction narrative writings. So fiction will be completely made up and just something that the author just came up with that didn't actually transpire in real life, whereas non-fiction will be based on true events. It can either be told in a linear or non-linear fashion. So if the narrative is linear, that would be a story told in chronological order. So that would be like movies and books generally tend to be, a sequence of events in the order that they actually transpired, irrespective of whether it actually happened in real life or not. A non-linear storyteller will recount information and details about the story in a non-chronological order. So that would be kind of jumbled up, and they'll jump around in the timeline. And those types of texts tend to rather evoke emotion rather than just give details about an account of what happened. They focus a bit more on the characters, and they want you to emphasize on the characters' emotions and their feelings and their perspectives. So they kind of want to make what's happening more of a background thing and what the character's feeling more of a foreground thing. And the way they do that is by making the background almost confusing. Narrative writings will always have a viewpoint, so they'll focus on the narrator's perspective of the story's events. And they'll also be descriptive. They'll focus on how the people and places in the story look and feel. They'll contain descriptive language, a plot, which is a sequence of events, which can vary in complexity, Narrative structure, so a beginning, a middle, and an end, or a hook, climax, and then resolution. And narrative writings will obviously always have characters. So that would be a protagonist, one or more, antagonist, one or more, and then, of course, the main character, or characters. Lastly, let's talk about descriptive writing. So, descriptive writing aims to evoke the reader's senses. They'll try to communicate an idea that might not necessarily be physically tangible. They'll include metaphors that likens one thing to another, and also similes, which describe something by comparing it to something else. So simile would be I step like a log or rock. I'm getting the Afrikaans and English versions of that confused now. Whereas a metaphor would be like the mountain of my emotions. That would be actually saying that your emotions is a mountain rather than saying that it's like a mountain. There's a very subtle difference, but it does matter. Descriptive writing will always include hyperbole, so that would be like an extreme statement to make a point, kind of over dramatizing something just for the sake of driving it home to the reader. It'll include personification, so that would be giving something human-like characteristics that isn't necessarily human-like, or maybe inanimate. It might include onomatopoeia, so that's just specific sounds like ha or boo. It might include alliteration, so they'll be using the same first letter in a sequence of words. So like the red reed rod, something like that, that's alliteration. Also, you'll find the rules of three used constantly in descriptive writing, which just means that when you list things, you do it in sets of three. So you would say that like the tree was green, tall, and strong, which just feels better than saying it's green and tall. I don't know, for some reason people tend to find listings of three more pleasant sounding than more or less than that. But that's the end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you really liked it, maybe subscribe. This is the type of content that I create on this channel. So if you like this video, chances are you'll like the other videos that I make, and you can always unsubscribe later. If you're finding yourself constantly pausing throughout this video to try and take in the information, I have great news for you. If you head over to the first link in the description, there's a blog that I make in tandem with each video that I upload on this channel that you can go check out to kind of get the script version of the video that you just watched. But that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on your studying journey. Descriptive writing aims to evoke the reader's senses.